And so that being said, this is my clip for the diehards. This is my man Bo Mack speaking to why people don't like to see fighters like Shakur Stevenson, and what's the knock on the guys. And he basically was giving some real insightful stuff, and I really appreciate that. So good stuff, Bo Mac.
And say it's because fight fans is they just want to see knockouts really. They want to see rock 'em, sock 'em, and then die hard fight fans they understand the meaning of boxing. Systematically, you can break your opponent down. So that's the disconnect. The disconnect is with the just regular casual boxing fans, you know. But the hardcore boxing fans like myself, I love to see a fighter get broke down, systematic breaking down, over the course of 10 rounds. He's showing his skills. That's skills, man. That's mind. That's using your mind. And sometimes you won't be able to get them out of there.
Boom. I used to watch guys like Francisco Bajada, Popo Freitas, Livingstone Bramble. I ain't care too much about the fighters who just knocked you out really quick. I like to see the skills. I love Bernard Hopkins in the 90s and the early 2000s and mid 2000s up until the Kelly Pavlik fight. I love to see how he just to take everything away from you, roll that shoulder, come back with that counter right, then slide across the ring. He's doing everything but the Y2C on you. And it's as violent as a toe-to-toe battle. But the difference is it's the battle of minds, and it's violence like a piece of art. And not everybody understands that when it's not their fighter. If it's their fighter, then it's cool. But if it's not their guy, then it sucks. But how bad do you want to know how to move around the ring and not get hit, and just looking slick, looking quick, looking sharp, looking good, and looking like you know everything that you're doing is about to result in his ass getting blown out? 12 straight rounds, no losses, no draws. See, that's what it is. When you start to remove bias and watch the artistry of skills, you look at Sugar Ray Robinson, you look at guys like Willie Pep, you look at these guys who could take the ring away from the other guy and put that dude feet in quicksand. Archie the old Mongoose Moore. Yeah, he can move around the ring, but he can also knock out 140 men. So what's the complaint when he's getting knockouts too? So you got to be careful when you talk about things that you don't really like. What you're saying is, I just don't like that guy. But if you saw that guy and that guy had on your jersey, it's okay. It will be called beautiful boxing. People didn't like when Ali used to dance on those guys. But look how people pretend like they love Ali now. Nobody loves him. They faking. You faking. You don't love Ali. You hate that he's not yours. And so that's what you got to pay close attention to. Why does that person not like that person? The minute that someone was boxing around the ring against Ryan Garcia, that dude's running. The minute Ryan Garcia starts using footwork, it's beautiful boxing. And so let's understand how to remove your own personal bias and start looking at the science of boxing. Which fighter is proving and showing you the most science in boxing? That's what you want to do. You want to lock in on that, because that's what you're about to see in the Olympics in this year right here. You're about to see what the national tournaments have just totally bred these fighters to be. And now I want you to be able to pay close attention. Maybe you're pulling for your country, but I want you to really pay close attention and remove all bias and look at some young person who said, I'm going to wake up and run 3 miles every single day until I make the Olympics. Or matter of fact, I'm going to run 4. I'm going to swim 2 days out of the week. I'm going to go to the track 2 days out of the week. And 2 days out of the week, I'm going to run on my block. And I'm going to get there. And look at what he's figured out how to do in the boxing ring. I'm telling you, remove bias and just start watching their feet, start watching their head movement, start looking at how they throw their combinations. Because, see, all of that stuff was embodied into muscle memory, because you can't fake muscle memory at the highest level of boxing, because that's the biggest stage in the world that these guys are about to perform on. If you go back to the 2004 Olympics, that was the last good Olympics when it came down to boxers. Amir Khan, Kendallon, Ward, Darrell. It was just, the list was like on and on and on and on. That was the last one of those kinds of Olympics. The ones with Shakur Stevens and those guys, it was okay. It wasn't world beater stuff. You talking about, you go back to 84 with Sweet Pea, Evander Holyfield, Tyrell Biggs, Meldrick Taylor. You're talking about killers, legends. Mark Breland, excuse me, Mark. Killers, all in the same, on the same team. But people were getting caught up in the wrong things. You got to pay close attention. As you go back to the 76, Howard Davis Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, the Spinks brothers. I mean, these guys were on one team. One team. That was Sugar Ray Leonard. Imagine Sugar Ray Leonard being on your team. And then the Spinks brother, who soon go on to knock off Larry Holmes, and one knock off Muhammad Ali. Two of the greatest fighters to ever fight at the heavyweight division. We're going to get beat by two guys that was in that weight class. And one of them is going to go on to beat and be the top of the 4 kings, beating more of the 4 kings than any of the other ones. He beat Hearns. I'm talking Sugar Ray Leonard. He beat Hearns. He beat Hagler. And he beat Duran. That is crazy to think about that team. All those dudes were that good. And Howard Davis Jr., who didn't have the top professional career, was the standout fighter in 76. So he was the greatest fighter in the world at that moment. And his son later goes on to train Dustin Poirier after becoming an NABF champion in Dyer Davis. You can't tell me boxing isn't crazy. That's what we're talking about.